Good morning all of you. As continuation of this solution of this differential equation, third case. Third case is nothing but a underdamped case. Previously we discussed the overdamped cases and the critical damped case. In critical damped case, if you look at this solution, you look at the solution x is equal to a1 e raised to u1t plus t a2 e raised to u2t. And as u1 and u2 two roots are equal, it becomes as a e raised to minus omega t common. This term is common, and in bracket a1 plus ta2, a1 plus ta2. This t is present here. T is present here as it is a solution of differential equation when two roots are equal. When two roots are equal, that solution slightly changes as x equal to a1 e raised to u1t plus ta2 e raised to u2t. So t is a solution part. T is a solution part. T is a solution part. So this final equation now becomes as a1 plus ta2 e raised to minus omega t. So if you plot this displacement and time plot, if you plot this displacement versus time plot, then you will observe that amplitude or maximum displacement becomes zero within a short possible time, within a very short time, within a very short time, that amplitude becomes as a zero. This is a critical damped case. This damping will apply where that whatever that amplitude due to that vibration are absorbed immediately, and it becomes as a zero. So third case. Now we discuss first case as a two roots are real and unequal. Second case is a two roots are real and equal. Now third case we discuss as a two roots are unequal. But imaginary. Two roots are unequal but imaginary. And here zeta is a less than 1. Two roots are now imaginary. The square root terms now becomes as a minus. So this I is introduced. Imaginary number introduced here I, because this difference between this inside this bracket inside the square root becomes as a negative. So consider negative term inside this square root. We consider put as a we put that imaginary number I. Now that roots are slightly modified as like this. Two roots are slightly modified like this. U1 u2 is equal to minus zeta plus I square root of 1 minus zeta square into all bracket omega, and u2 is in here plus here minus. So u1 u2 are the now imaginary roots. And unequal roots. Now we can put these roots into that solution of this differential equation x equal to a1 e raised to u1t plus a2 e raised to u2t. So you put u1 value here, put u2 value here, and after taking common from this e raised to minus zeta omega t inside this bracket, take this e raised to minus zeta omega t common, remaining is inside this bracket. Now we can simplify this equation as a e raised to ix. Now we know that e raised to ix, here this term as a e raised to I into x. This e raised to ix we can write as a cos x plus I sin x. E raised to ix, instead of e raised to ix we can write as a e raised to ix is equal to cos x plus I sin x. So we put this, we replace this e raised to I into x. Now x term becomes this. Square root of 1 minus zeta square omega t. This becomes now x. Now this e raised to ix now changes as a cos of x here square root of 1 minus zeta square omega t plus I sin x is a square root of 1 minus zeta square omega t. Similarly here, but here minus sign is present, so it becomes as a cos x minus I sin x. Cos x, instead of plus here plus I sin x, here minus I sin x. Cos of x square root of 1 minus zeta square omega t minus I sin square root of 1 minus zeta square omega t. So put this e raised to ix value simplify it, and after simplification you will get this final equation. You will get this final equation in terms of cost term, in terms of sin term, in terms of sin cost term, and in terms of sin term. Now here we introduce one more term. Here we introduce one more term as a damped natural frequency. Here we introduce as a damped natural frequency. As we discussed in previous equation solution, equation of motion, in solution of equation of motion of that pre-vibration, omega we just introduce here omega n. Omega n is nothing but a natural frequency, or nothing but a natural frequency of that particular pre-vibration. Now here we provide damping. We provide damping by means of viscous medium. In that case, that natural frequency now it becomes called as a damped natural frequency. That natural frequency now becomes as a damped natural frequency, omega d, suffix d, omega suffix d. Now that damped natural frequency now becomes as a square root of 1 minus zeta square omega. So this term, square root of 1 minus zeta square omega, is nothing but a damped natural frequency. So instead of this we can write as a omega d. Instead of this we can write as omega d as a damped natural frequency. So in underdamped case, in underdamped system, so in both cases, critical damped case and overdamped case, this response is a aperiodic nature, because there is no cyclic nature. That amplitude reduces to zero within a certain time. There is no cyclic nature. So both the cases, overdamped case and critical damped case, are the aperiodic nature. There is no cyclic motion. Or there is no repeated cycles. But in underdamped case, we observe cyclic motion. Like this. So it is a periodic nature. Cycle repeats after an equal interval of time. It is a periodic nature. But in overdamped case and in critical damped case and in overdamped case, there is no cyclic nature. So these two cases are the aperiodic nature. Now for underdamped case, we observe this cyclic nature. So in practical cases, we observe so many examples. In day-to-day life for underdamped case. So here if we plot a displacement time plot for this underdamped case, we observe this curve. Now if you look at this curve, this is amplitude. On x-axis there is a time, on y-axis there is a displacement. On x-axis there is a time, on y-axis there is a displacement. So at particular time t1, this maximum displacement is a x1. At particular time t2, maximum displacement is x2. At particular time t3, maximum displacement is x3. At particular time t4, maximum displacement is x4, and so on up to this amplitude becomes as 0. So it is a cyclic nature. So in this case, the time period or time between the two, when time required to complete one cycle, is nothing but a time period. So time required to complete one cycle. So one cycle is completed. If suppose we consider this is starting point, so time required to complete one cycle is this much. You can consider time required for one cycle here also. From here to here you can consider time period or time required to complete one cycle. Or here to here, time required to complete one cycle. Or here to here, time required for. So it is a time or distance between distance on the time plot, which are measured on this same side of the horizontal line, which are measured on the same side of that line, horizontal line, timeline. So it is a time period. Time required to complete one cycle. So one cycle is completed. Suppose we consider this is starting point. One cycle is completed here. One cycle is completed here. So it is a time period. So this time period is nothing but a 2 pi by omega d. Time period is nothing but a 2 pi by omega d. So this is time period TP. Time period TP. So time required to complete one cycle. Time required to complete one cycle. Now T1, T2, T3. From T1, at time T1 this amplitude is x1. At time T2 amplitude is x2. So from this T1 to T2 one cycle is complete. From this T1 to T3 another cycle is complete. From this T3 to T4 another cycle is complete. So like that. And at each time T1 amplitude is x1. Time T2 amplitude is x2, time T3 amplitude is x3, like that. But at time T4 amplitude is x4. Now this is if initial amplitude is a maximum. As time passes, it reduces. As time passes, it reduces. It nothing but a energy is removed. Energy removed in each cycle. Energy removed in each cycle. In another word, we can say that amplitude reduces in each cycle. Amplitude reduces after completing each cycle. Suppose we consider a pendulum example. That pendulum get its equilibrium position or stop after completing certain cycle or after certain time. After certain time, that if pendulum oscillation are stopped after certain time. If you plot on this time displacement plot, it will appear like this. So initially pendulum is displaced by amount displacement x1. During each cycle it reduces and it becomes as 0, and pendulum stop oscillating. So this is a underdamped case. When zeta is less than 1 and two roots are imaginary and unequal. So for this underdamped case, if you consider natural logarithm of 2 ratio, of 2 successive amplitude, two successive amplitudes here, x1, x2. You can consider 2 successive amplitude x2, x3. You can consider 2 successive amplitude x3, x4. And this ratio x1 by x2, and natural logarithm of this ratio ln of x1 by x2 is nothing but a logarithmic decrement. So this ratio give rate of decay. This logarithm decrement gives the rate of decay. At what rate this amplitude is reduced to 0. At what rate this amplitude is reduced to 0, that rate of decay gives by this logarithmic decrement. So this delta logarithm decrement is represented as a natural log of ratio of 2 successive amplitudes. 2 successive amplitudes are x1 by x2. Natural log of this ratio is nothing but a logarithmic decrement. It gives rate of decay for that particular system. So derivation for that logarithm decrement we consider. So we consider one of the solution. Here we consider one of the solution. For that, here underdamped case, this solution we consider. Now in this solution cos and sin terms are present. This cos and sin, after addition of this cos and sin term, it again represent, either we can represent these two terms in terms of cos or in terms of sin. Cos theta plus sin theta, like that. These are represented in